Hello, I'm Reverend Kenny Callahan, the pastor at Metropolitan Community Church of Richmond. This coming Sunday at MCC Richmond, the word of the day is generosity. One of our sacred texts is taken from Luke's story, the 10th chapter, verses 25 to 37, another one of Jesus' famous parables. It is a story of great compassion and generosity. It is a story of a traveler beaten and robbed and left for dead on the side of the road. It is a story of two religious leaders, a priest and a Levite, passing the traveler, crossing to the other side of the road to avoid the unloveliness of the scene and their own fears. It is a story of a Samaritan, a foreigner filled with compassion and tremendous generosity, who risked their own life in order to offer the beaten and bruised traveler a chance to live. Jesus tells this story to a lawyer and to a crowd. The lawyer was hoping that Jesus would answer the question, "Who is my neighbor?" Or more to the point, "Who isn't my neighbor?" However, the lawyer is left to answer another question. Is it those who passed the beaten person? Or is it the one who stopped and with tremendous generosity offering the traveler compassion? And then Jesus gives a final instruction to go and to do the same. The question of who is my neighbor is the same for us today. Who do we see as our neighbor? The story of the Samaritan reminds us of the diversity of our neighbors. Our neighbor is the homeless person sitting at McDonald's or in front of the local liquor store. Our neighbor is the refugee seeking life-saving sanctuary in the borders of our country. Our neighbor is the individual shopping for food, clothing, hygiene products, and ordering sandwiches and selecting side dishes for their to-go lunch at the Vicky Hester Food Pantry. Is it the individual gathering in our church buildings, fighting addiction, needing the support of others, or a safe place simply to be? Is our neighbor the single parent looking for support to find housing and care for their children instead of a litany of questions? Our neighbor is the individual sitting next to us, spewing words of hate rather than love? Or is it the face of our enemy looking right back at us? Our neighbor is the individual sitting beside us at church, having come to this sacred and safe place with our various stories, life experiences, our hopes, and our dreams. The parable of the Samaritan reminds us and helps us to expand our awareness of the other, of our neighbors, and to do as Jesus did in bringing words and actions of love, healing, hope, acceptance, and so much more, to be the hands and the feet of Jesus in our world. As the beloved of God, we are commissioned, as the disciples were, to go and to do, to generously show mercy, to generously show compassion, and to generously share the love of God.